The more I grow as an entrepreneur and as a company, values are the number one thing. And we tell everybody.
Welcome to Behind the Frame, where we go beyond the LinkedIn bios and Instagram highlight reels to talk about what really happens when you're building something from scratch. I'm Jay Duffy, co-founder of Frame Wealth Partners, business owner, husband, dad, and guy who still wonders if winging it counts as a legitimate growth strategy. Spoiler, it does sometimes. Join me and my amazing co-hosts, Morgan Watson and Annette Quigley, as we sit down with someone who's built a business or is knee-deep in the messy middle of it. And we talk about the real stuff, the pivots, the late nights, the wins no one celebrated, and the lessons no one warned them about. So grab a coffee or something stronger. We're going behind the frame. Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Frame. I am Jay Duffy. I'm with my co-host, Morgan Watson, Mouth South. How you doing?
Absolutely. I'm good, man.
Good.
I'm good.
Well, Morgan, today we have a really great guest joining us. He's built one of the premier landscape design and construction companies in Maryland. He's also a second-generation business owner and probably knows a few things about the backyard. Better than we do maintaining it, I would say.
Yeah, looking forward to this. As Jay knows, we moved in a new place recently, and apparently I've trimmed everything that wasn't supposed to be trimmed. And my wife is, we need help, is what I've been told over and over again.
Don't we
It's
all?
a bush. Just trim it.
But
You can't trim that tree.
before we get to our guest, let's start it off as we always do. Weekend win? Do you have one?
Yeah, we had a good one this weekend. So our older two are back from college, and Friday night went downtown, Capitol Grill, had a nice dinner. But what I actually enjoyed most was, so our oldest, she's a junior in college, just finished junior year. Our middle one just finished his first year. Our youngest sophomore. So I asked Meryl, I'm like, well, what do you want to do now that you're home? She goes, I want to go fishing with Morgan, who's our middle one.
Yep.
And go throw the lacrosse ball with Russell. So I'm like, all right, family's back together.
Yeah.
Things haven't changed too much over the last year.
Band's back.
Yeah, so it was good. It was a real good weekend. How about the Duffy family?
Well, for us, it was pretty easy. James had, I think, another makeup baseball game. Ted, we've had a ton. So many. But his team has been, lacking in the winning columns a lot lately. Yeah, it's just
Competing.
they've been competing. It's just they've lost a lot. So James actually he was 2 for 4, and he had a diving winning catch to seal the game, and like you would have thought, it was like they won the World Series.
Oh, yeah.
It was I think that was their second win, and I loved every minute of it. I was like, this is great.
That's
So
awesome.
that was our weekend win for us. But today we have a great guest. I want to kind of read this through. Our guest today is Ted Carter, president of Pinehurst Landscapes. Ted grew up in the family business, earned degrees in horticulture and landscape architecture, returned during one of the toughest economic periods imaginable, and helped lead Pinehurst into one of the most respected landscape companies in the region. Ted, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for being here. So before we get started, as you've seen, weekend win. How about in your family? Any weekend wins?
Yeah, so I'm on the leadership committee of my son's Cub Scout troop.
Okay.
So we had a fundraiser on Saturday morning, selling concessions at the Carroll Manor All-Star game.
Oh, yeah.
So raised a bunch of money for the pack, and then had our spring camp out that night, which was a lot of fun. Everybody had a great time.
Yeah.
I did not get any sleep. I don't think any of the dads got
Where
any
was the
sleep.
camp out?
Near the hunting range off of Northwind Road.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, both of my boys did Boy Scouts.
So that was a lot of fun. And then groggily got back on Sunday, went to the Orioles game. Yeah, it was.
Was that the walk-off
Yeah.
from Alonzo?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
They said, yeah.
So it was all great, but it was a awesome weekend,
Yeah.
and man, I'm very tired.
Do they
So-
still do the overnight? What's is it the Constellation, the ship down in the harbor?
Oh,
I don't know if they do that anymore. But we've done things like gone up to the USS New Jersey
Okay.
up in Camden, and you can spend the night on that battleship, which is actually amazing.
So we did that for both hours. I think it's the Constellation that's down in Baltimore Harbor.
Yeah.
Late July, it's 1,000 degrees, and apparently there are not any sailors my size. You're sleeping in these hammocks that are this long. I'm like, and you're just sweating. It was miserable. The kids had a great time. I'm thinking, this is like the seventh circle of hell. It's awful.
The New Jersey's no better. You built obviously for World War II,
Yeah.
and you sit in these bunks that clearly, like a 1940s 20-year-old man was a different size. The
Yeah.
Thatcher, than a 40-year-old in the 21st century.
Yeah.
I think my belly was practically touching the top of the bunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a rough sleep as well.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
So that's an awesome weekend, Wayne, but you're a little bit tired from that weekend, Ed. So
Life as a parent, right?
exactly. That's being a good dad right there. Well, let's get into the family business. And I have a ton of questions here, but can you kind of mold into what's the history of Pinehurst, and then you also growing up, because you're actually our first guest that's a second generation
Yeah.
business owner that we've had. So I'd love to hear a little bit more.
So it all starts with my dad.
Yeah.
Rob Carter started Pinehurst back in 1964.
Oh wow.
He started off like many, or actually probably most landscape companies. He was a boy with a pickup truck. He grew up on Pinehurst Road in Towson.
Okay.
So a lot of people call us thinking like, does this have some affiliation with golf? You're like,
No.
it's just, you grow up on Pinehurst Road.
Oh wow.
So started off in 64 when he was in high school cutting grass. I kept going through college. In fact, actually after his first semester of his freshman year, my dad would stack his classes sort of Monday through Wednesday so that he could still work Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Oh wow.
And work through college, basically study 3 days a week and then work 3 days a week. After he graduated from college, came back to Maryland, and his company had been evolving to the point where he had moved from doing a lot of lawn mowing to doing a lot of planting, and basically had to notify all of his lawn mowing clients, hey, I'm actually going to move on from lawn mowing and start to focus more on the horticultural side. In 74 or 75, I can't remember the exact date, but my parents moved out to what was Long Green. It's now Glen Arm, Maryland.
Yeah.
And bought the farm where I grew up. Started a nursery out there, and that's where it's expanded from what was just sort of open crop field to a whole series of operations. We've got nursery operation. We have an entire fleet of trucks, backhoes, all sorts of things, a whole yard holding material like stone and plants, and it's quite an operation out there now.
Oh wow. So what was it like growing up with that?
That's great.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a kid with a couple
Giant
Labradors.
Tonka toys.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
You're a kid living on a 50-acre farm with a bunch of Labradors, and you get to run around.
That's awesome.
Growing up, I literally the guys. I'll get into this in a bit, but you kind of grew up with all these sort of older men around you that you just knew because your dad would talk to them every single day.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, I would start working on Saturdays to make a little extra money.
Sure.
And then they turned into sort of working on in the summertime as well. It was a good summer job before we'd go on vacation. Yeah. So it definitely made me appreciate the incredible amount of hard work that goes into it.
Absolutely.
And the respect that I had for these guys that I knew from a very early age as just kind of Uncle Wink and Corey, these guys that I knew all the time. Then realizing, wow, these guys do this day in, day out. And helped build the business with my dad. Yeah. So my dad's a very humble guy, and will very much point out that he built it with the help of a lot of other guys. Oh yeah, did the whole thing with him.
Oh yeah. No, and Morgan's heard this story. I spent 2 years in high school, my summer, landscaping, and with Porter Landscaping, which is I don't think it's around anymore. My best friend, son of the father, and those were the worst summers of my entire life. Like I was dead exhausted. I would be at the shop at 6, and then at the time, I was on the crew that was grading lawns. So they were doing new developments, and so we'd have to seed the lawns. And at the time, they didn't have a hay thrower, so I was literally doing it by hand,
Spread it.
on 2-acre lots, and I was the only one doing it because I was the youngest.
Right.
And the greenhorns said, "Right, you go do it."
Right.
I'm like, okay, spreading out the hay, but
Your arms are scraped up at the end of the
oh
dome.
my
I feel like all
goodness.
the folks at the straw.
And I said to myself at that point, after 2 summers of that, I was like, I will never cut my grass again. and I will never seed anything ever again. I was
great
like,
motivator.
I will
Yeah.
hire someone to do this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's so growing up the business. Did you know that you wanted to go into that right away?
No. In fact, actually, I thought I was going to run away from it.
Really?
I appreciated it for what it was and thought of it as sort of an amazing thing that my dad had created to support his family. But it was not necessarily that I thought aspirationally.
Right.
I was blessed to be able to go to St. Paul's, and then I went off to Vanderbilt, and a lot of the discussions were, oh, you should become a lawyer.
How did
or
you
go
know? First off,
Yeah.
there-
Was there
any-
any pressure to kind of get into it?
No,
Yeah.
actually, again, props to my dad. He said it'll be here if you want it,
Yeah,
but it's not. He didn't see it as sort of like a legacy that had to continue on.
sure.
And I think because of that, I was actually much more interested in coming back later on. So after graduating college, I lived in DC for a number of years and became a commercial property manager, managing Class A office buildings. So places like only 2 blocks away from the White House. I actually had a really exciting opportunity to work with Tishman Speyer, which is their main claim to fame are things like Rockefeller Center in New York.
Yeah.
That's their crown jewel.
Yeah.
But they had just recently purchased the entire portfolio of Car America and had a unique situation where they were managing a lot of prime real estate assets such as International Square, which is one of the main hubs. If you're ever on the metro, you go through. They own that entire
Oh wow.
operation, but they actually had a contract with another developer who it was the only instance where they were actually managing third-party assets. So I was that kind of in between Tishman and the other group, and it allowed me to see a lot of different ways of operating. There was definitely 2 different styles.
Yeah.
Right? Tishman is a very kind of almost like military-esque kind of
Yeah.
everything straight line, nice and clean,
Right.
spit shine.
Yeah.
And they wanted to bring that to sort of the DC market, and it was a great educational experience for me as a first job out of college, and I got fast tracked. Just happened to be in the right time, right place. To be in a position where usually I might have needed about 5 years of experience.
Oh yeah.
So at the end of it, I was managing about, I think, 1.2 million square feet of Class A trophy of real estate. But I looked at it as I started to realize, I first came in there, I'd sit down with the orientation, like, all right, well, you'll have 2 weeks of vacation, and if you work really hard over the next decade, you'll get up to 3.
Oh wow.
As they're like, huh, wait, what? What? And I looked at some of the people who were extremely talented and hardworking, but some of them you could argue might have been dealing with a drinking problem, might have been on their second or third marriage, and I didn't really see people who I didn't see a path that I wanted to become.
Yeah.
And I started. It's amazing how you get a job and your perspective changes. I started looking back and thinking, wow, my dad. Every time I had a lacrosse game, was one of the few dads who was actually there,
Yeah.
cheering me on.
Right.
We'd go on like we'd travel or spring break down to Virginia and play a few teams down in like Stab and St. Albans and a few other like Georgetown Prep. And my dad would travel with us.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, well, how did my dad pull that off? And we'd go up to we're fortunate enough to have a place in Maine. My dad wouldn't be up in Maine the entire summer, but my mother and my sisters and I would be, and my dad would be sort of the weekend warrior and fly up on a Thursday, come back down on Monday.
Yeah.
It's like, how'd my dad pull all that off? And I was like, oh, it's because he owned his own business.
Yep. Yep.
And I started to realize while some of the people I was working with were going in different trajectories and we're probably going to make lots of good money, I started to realize that's not necessarily, I didn't want to necessarily compromise the lifestyle I wanted to live with sort of the having sort of the golden handcuffs around my my hands.
Yeah. Wow. Well, we blew over this one thing here. You went to Vanderbilt.
Yep.
How the heck did you leave Nashville? First off. How hard was that?
Nashville's a great place. I will say it's changed a lot.
I was about to say,
When I entered Vandy, Nashville was coming out of becoming a sleepy southern town, and it still had sort of the echo of it. There are areas where you'd have you could literally walk into a dive bar and there's a couple guys just playing bluegrass in the corner, not for any particular
when did you leave?
I was there from 2002 to 2006.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And-
I worked out of out of Nashville quite a bit
Oh, okay.
from 99 to 04.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was just kind of moving out.
Right. The first couple condos were starting to come.
Yeah.
And now it's sort of literally the entire
Vegas East.
the Nashville skyline is not what it used to be.
Yeah.
And who might have judged, but it's a different vibe. Yeah, it's now you go there, and my sister-in-law still lives there.
Okay.
She was 1 year ahead of me at Vanderbilt, and that's where I met my wife.
Okay.
And so we go back. We're actually going back on Friday to go visit family, but it's just a slightly different setup. Vanderbilt's still great to go visit.
Yeah.
It's still great if you want to go to a honky tonk. They're still there.
Yeah.
Broadway will always be Broadway.
Yeah.
But that quiet, there's a great place called Station Inn. That's one of the home of bluegrass,
Yeah.
and it's there, but it's literally surrounded by no kidding, a dozen, probably 20-story condos surrounding all that, and then this tiny little one-story ranch.
It doesn't have that slower pace that it had.
Yeah,
It definitely doesn't. It definitely doesn't. So talk to me about, all right, you've made the realization, I don't want to do this, or I gotta make a change.
Yeah.
What was it to come back and work with Dad, or
So
what?
great question. Yeah, it was. I was a little bit of a crossroads. I had originally thought, hey, Tishman had an MBA program where if you work a number of years, they'll send you a track where they'll send you an MBA or at least sponsor a portion of it, and then we'll move on and probably pivot to going to New York and working on sort of the M&A side of some of those acquisitions. And this was 2008. So I've been working at Tishman for 2 years, and all of a sudden you're like, they'll sort of so what about that program? Like, that program isn't really happening right now. We're gonna pause that, and
We got a financial crisis.
and all of a sudden I was like, oh well,
Real estate's having a little bit of an issue.
and it did not look like that track was going to be going anytime in the near future. And it just so happened my dad called me in the I want to say the summer of 2008. And sort of said, hey, look, can't wait to see you up in Maine. But just to let you know, he said, I'm getting tired. I mean, my dad had been doing it since 64. So you do the math.
Yeah.
And basically said, if you don't want to take it on, I've told you it's not something you have to do. But I'm getting tired and I don't want to do this anymore. I don't know if he had at the time 2 vice presidents, and they were not old, but not young.
Right.
They were both kind of like, hey, they're going to be retiring in the not too distant future too. They're not interested in buying me out. So it's either if you want to come back, now's the time. Otherwise, I'm going to roll things.
Okay.
And I sort of said, all right, well, I was talking to my girlfriend at the time, now my wife, sort of saying, this to me was something that it would probably afford a lifestyle to support our kids and have that kind of flexibility. And I said, I might just give this a shot. For some reason it doesn't work out. I'm, what the hey, when you're 26 or something like that, you're like, I could pivot, I could take care of the world. Yeah. And came back and really started to appreciate everything. It opened up my eyes to what my father had been going through. Not going through, but how he supported a family.
Yeah.
A senior father as a worker and an entrepreneur is in a completely different light than senior father is just your father.
Yeah.
And so it started to become a really eye-opening experience that for the first year we would literally, he'd have these clients, a couple property management companies. He'd take me like, hey, come along and we're just going to go for a ride. You're going to be my basically note taker. And I'm going to tell you what to write down. Don't even worry about what it says. Just follow, make notes as best you can, and let's go from there. And it was a lot. I really loved that period of time with my dad.
Oh, wow.
So it was great.
That was going to leads right into my next question. What are maybe some of the lessons that you learned from your dad as you transitioned into kind of taking over Pinehurst? I mean, were there, because again, this podcast is really designed for kind of to mentor the aspiring entrepreneurs out
Yeah.
there. I think many entrepreneurs have always had some type of mentor in their life that that kind of pushed them in the right direction.
So, my dad was definitely that.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest thing I learned from my dad is loyalty to his employees. My dad's always been a very loyal individual, and he had two guys, Wake Ruprecht and Corey Branch, who were his VPs that literally started off as foreman on the company when they were a smaller organization. It's funny, Wink was about 10 years behind my dad at the University of Maryland. He said, "Hey, I've got this guy. He's my college roommate. I think he's looking for a summer job. So you just can I bring him on?" And it's like, "Yeah, sure." Well, that was Corey, and he was only going to be there for the summer. And 40 years later, he retired from Pinehurst, as did Wink. Wink was basically the general manager of the company, and Corey was our head designer and salesperson.
No way.
And that's that's part of the issue. We still part of his success. We still have two guys, Fred Whitell and Don Mosby. Fred started working at Pinehurst when he was 14, growing up on Long Green Road.
Yeah.
And never stopped. So I tell people, Fred has been at Pinehurst longer than I have been alive.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So if he says, "Hey, we got to do it this way," I'm like, well, let's just take his advice.
Yeah.
That's the way.
So question with that. So, kind of a two-parter. What kind of, I see the family side of it, and maybe that's the answer. What intrigued you most about taking that job? But also, what would have kept you from not wanting to maybe do it?
The number one thing is probably the fear of, well, two things. One was the fear of not knowing exactly what on earth I was getting into.
Yeah.
Just because I dug holes in the summertime doesn't mean I know how to run a company.
Yeah.
In fact, running a company is a lot different than running a crew or just being able to design a backyard.
Yep.
And I learned a number of really good things from my dad on how to do it. I feel like I actually learned a lot more, believe it or not, joining a peer group. That was one of the really fundamental things for me. There's a consultant in the area, a national consultant named Jeffrey Scott, and he runs a series of peer groups throughout the country where fellow entrepreneurs in the landscape industry get together, and we do benchmarking throughout the year. We have quarterly meetings virtually, just sort of checking on people, and then also have twice a year we actually visit a member's facility, interview their employees, and actually give direct feedback to those to the business owner on things that we see are going well, but more importantly, blind spots that they're probably not picking up on.
Yeah.
And then just kind of critiquing, hey, I think a minor adjustment here, and hey, you're gonna miss the ball over here. And it's great because as a business owner, you can walk into someone else's facility, and you can see everything that's wrong.
Exactly.
Real quick. It's really hard to look in your own mirror, but man, it's so much easier to see how someone else is screwing up.
Yeah.
So it's really helpful. And my father taught me the values of Pinehurst, but the business, believe it or not, I learned just as much from a bunch of guys that were also sort of in the thick of it all.
Yeah.
Because what you talk about all the time is, hey, I'm going through this. I'm struggling with this, trying to get over this other sales goal, or how to sort of keep a certain standard in my production.
Yeah.
And you're hearing from other people about, here's what I'm going through, and here's how I've gone. Or, oh yeah, we had that problem 2 years ago. Here's how we adjusted it. That started to help me to understand, because I was going, when it came into Pinehurst, it wasn't just sort of, oh, here's a Porsche, it's running smoothly, just keep the oil change kit and you'll be all good. One of the problems is we didn't have really any systems in place at the time, anything standardized. We were still working at best Excel. There's no CAD program, there's no proper estimating systems, none of that was in place. So there's no standard operating procedure for anything.
So you had a monitor? kind of
Yeah.
modernize it and really
and I tell you,
systematize it.
the biggest concern was I was then come into a company where the sort of uncle figures were now somebody I was supposed to be telling what to do.
Yeah.
And it's very intimidating to tell somebody who's been doing their job for 40 years, hey, you gotta change your way.
Yeah.
Especially when you're 26 years old and you're trying to tell a 56-year-old person,
Yeah.
no, you don't know what you're doing. That didn't go as smoothly as I was hoping.
Yeah, but I also think that's well, I think initially when you first do it, it doesn't go as smoothly as you think, but it definitely teaches you a lot about leadership. And when you have to, like you said, tell someone that's been doing their business a certain way for so many years, and you're 20 years they're younger, it's tough. It's tough, but having the tough conversations is, I think, what makes good leaders great leaders.
Yeah.
And it helps build, as you grow in that business, you've got the leadership portion, and then culture, and trying to either expand or renew that, getting the right people, the hiring, those are all obviously the big part of it. So at Pinehurst, what makes a good employee? I mean, or more importantly, are there certain traits you're looking for that you want, or certain traits you're looking for to say, all right, this is a non-hire,
Yeah, we are, as we've grown, I came to Pinehurst in 2000, what did I say, fall of 2000? No, I think it was actually 2009 is when I came in. And we were still, actually, the first 5 years of Pinehurst when I came back, we're struggling because there's there's a shock wave through the financial crisis of, it's not like in 2010, every single developer was all of a sudden rich again. So there was a solid 5 years of us struggling financially. We started off, we were around 1.6 million in gross revenue. And we are now at, we're projecting to be around 6 to 6.5 this year.
Oh, wow.
And in the course of that growth, it's come through a number of different things, but we found that the bigger we get and the more I grow as an entrepreneur and as a company, values are the number one thing. And we tell everybody we're hiring and we're firing on these values.
Yeah.
You can teach somebody a different skill, but you can't teach them honesty. You can't teach them integrity. That's already been well ingrained in their life, whether they're 18 or whether they're 58.
Yeah.
And so that goes a long way. We rely a lot on our current employees to attract new ones. A lot of times we're blessed to have a lot of really talented and loyal production staff that they say, hey, I've got a friend. And they sort of know, hey, this guy, he will fit in, or no, he's, like, they're not going to bring a person to our company if they don't think that he's going to be the right fit.
Right.
And so we try to talk a lot about that. And I talked to my general manager a lot about how we need to be the steward of those values and
So true.
and carry ourselves in that way.
How difficult is it to build that culture when you have projects that are so spread out?
You do it through, it's difficult. You do it through consistency is one thing. It's probably the most important thing. You can, if you just sort of say, hey, here's this book, read it. Yeah. We printed it one time here. And now we're good, right? It's all done. So you have to do it through a lot of consistent events. We have weekly meetings, that we have a Monday morning huddle where we try to talk about those values. We try to talk about and where we identify great achievements that people, like the individual, do in the company. We try to frame it in terms of those values that we have and what that person's achieved. It's not just sort of, hey, he did it faster or prettier, but like, what is it? Did we deliver to our clients what we said we were going to do? And so that has a lot of a resounding effect. And I think people are obviously interested in pay. They want to know that you guys are offering competitive pay, that there's going to be growth opportunities in the future. That, if you start off as a crew member, I might become a foreman, and then from a foreman, I'm going to be a supervisor and a project manager or a designer. I think keep growing from there.
Right.
But they want to know that they're also in a company that is some place where they really want to be long term. That they're surrounded by fellow professionals, and
they want to feel valued.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I get it.
What's one of the hardest lessons that kind of leadership's taught you?
God, so many. I've learned I can't trust. I can't take somebody's word for who they are from the very beginning. I've had a lot of people. I'm a very trustworthy person.
Yeah.
I hate lying.
Yeah.
And I've had some people come and sort of say, "Oh yeah, I've done this, this, and this, and yeah, trust me, I'll be great for this job." And when I was younger, I was like, "Oh, okay, this guy sounds like he's a great opportunity." Now he didn't put any references down, but no, I got a good vibe from him. And man, I have had some disastrous hires.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. I think that's we always talk about, I think we've said it on a few podcasts, is hire slow, fire fast.
Yeah.
And it's that first image that you get of a recruit.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best image you're ever going to get
Right.
when they come in that first day.
Right.
They're going to give you their best self.
Oh yeah.
So if that's not good, you're not going to change them. Right. Your ability to change them is not going to happen.
I now am at the point where I'll just say, look, here are our values.
Yeah.
And if you don't align with this, I assure you, I will fire you soon.
Yeah.
So if you actually want for your own self-interest, if you don't think you're going to be a good fit here,
Yeah.
you should not take this job.
Yeah.
Because I will come down on you real quickly before you start to ruin the culture that we have.
Yeah. As that culture builds, you really go from, I feel like early on business owners are looking for, all right, what are the traits I like that I'm looking to hire?
Right.
Then as you grow that culture, now it really switches. All right, I got to identify what doesn't fit. So instead of hiring, I'm trying to eliminate those interviewees.
And that makes it difficult because it's easy if you're small to sort of say, all right, well, hey, I've got this all-star. Yeah, he's kind of a prickly pear, but he gets the job done.
Yeah.
We made the money. Let's move on to the next thing. And the more people you have in an organization, the more the culture matters.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Fit matters. And therefore, you may have to train more with the right value person because you're not going to find, not every hire you're going to have then is going to be a unicorn that all of a sudden has all the values and is perfectly skilled and trained. So if you're hiring more for your values, then you're going to have to sometimes bring on people who need a little bit more training.
Yeah.
And you can't move quite as fast as you'd like. Or if you're going to try to move fast with your hires, you're then compromising on your culture.
Absolutely.
And that's the danger of it all. And some might argue that we move too slowly. But I've learned from the get-go, the guys that got us through that financial crisis were all those guys that had the values that we wanted, stuck with my dad for years and years and years. And they're the backbone of our company. They're the ambassadors of those values. When we did a rebranding 2 years ago, and one of the very first things that we did was talk about our values. And I thought about all those guys and what were their characteristics? What did they represent? And that's sort of who we modeled all of our values on.
That's awesome. Let's kind of move into some of the stuff that maybe our subscribers also want to hear, is just being homeowners and outdoor living for a second. We're
Fun stuff, yeah.
Talk about this, but I guess for you, I'm gonna fire out some questions for you. Biggest mistakes homeowners make right now.
Biggest mistake they make is they're not planning out the whole vision in advance.
Okay.
It's okay if you say, hey, I want to get some flowers for Mother's Day. That's, hey, totally. Let's, pop them in. Yeah. We have people who are like, hey, I need to have the pool in by 4th of July. And they're like, okay, if you're going to tell me there's nothing but a pool, that's fine. But I'm pretty darn sure no one just visions the pool. Yeah. There's going to be like, oh, I want a pavilion and I want the outdoor kitchen and I want to have some lighting and I want to have all these different elements. You need to plan that out.
Right.
And even if, very often we'll have clients say, well, I'll do this in stages. So I don't need a master plan right away. Yeah. The problem is there's so many things that you need to take into account in advance.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like drainage, or how are you going to be controlling all these utilities? Yeah. We even have this issue when we come in to say, someone's finished a home build and they're saying, okay, now I want the pool located right here in the backyard. You're like, oh, right where the septic tank is.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Like, oh, I wish you'd talked to me 2 years ago, so we could have just moved that, or like where all your drain lines for your downspouts are now running right where you say you want to go. So it's just planning ahead. You don't necessarily have to eat the whole elephant in one bite,
Yeah.
but you got to make sure you know the plan from the very beginning. And we have clients that sort of say, I know, I want to get it in by the summertime.
Yeah,
Like, I get it, but
Do clients lean on you a little bit for like kind of advice on this? Is like saying instead of having the vision, like, hey, I have an idea of what I want, but like, I need your guys' help on
so
bringing my vision to kind of like.
it's the same. The metaphor of designing a house is the same as designing a backyard.
Gotcha.
You have an idea of sort of how you want to use the house. Very few clients are like, I really want dormer windows, or like, I really want that Marvin, and I want that this type of color paint. They have snippets of what they envision a new house to be, or a new backyard.
You don't have to envision it. I'll do it.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So often
Apparently, we have to, for my wife's vision to come true, we have to just take over about 7 acres behind us to get it all in. So,
Well, part of it is, form follows functions. It's a classic tenement of architecture. Is that you want to figure out, well, how do you plan to use the space, whether it's a house or a backyard, and that's actually what should be driving the design, not just sort of like, hey, I want this. You get the dad who's like, I want the big green egg. Like, I've always wanted the bigger. Like, okay, but like, let's talk a little bit about like, is it just you? Just you. You're not going to invite anyone around, just you? Or like, okay, we'll make a tiny little patio. It's funny, a couple of years ago, I was meeting with a client in Cockeysville, and we were talking about their backyard. And they're like, so tell me about what, if you envision your Saturday afternoon, how do you see that happening? Like, all right, well, usually it's us, and I have my family come over. I'm like, oh, okay. So you said you wanted an outdoor dining space. Are you thinking maybe 6, 8 people? I said, no. I'm Greek.
Wow.
I've got
47.
Yeah, it's like my immediate sisters and brothers are 8. I've got like 40 nephews, and I was like, oh, okay, so this is a different size than just family is a different for every person.
No, I'm Greek.
Right.
How about this one? Most overrated or underrated trends right now?
I will say not underrated. The most underrated, or just the thing that's going to hold value the longest, is any place where you're cooking and dining together.
Yeah.
It's that gathering space is never going to get old.
Yeah.
And it's a hot trend. So is it overrated? I don't know. I think it's actually just rated at right where it should be.
Okay.
Ever since the pandemic, people have had a new appreciation for using their home, not just on the inside, but the outside.
Yeah.
That they know that, we may not be at the swimming pool in February, but we still actually would, we've got clients who are like, I don't mind putting on long pants and a coat and still eating outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's do it. What we do is we'll build a pavilion. You might want a roof over your head, but you still want to be outside. They still want to enjoy, they're not going to do it 30-degree weather, but hey, if it's 55 degrees, not bad at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we have a lot of people who are that is definitely the not the most overrated one. Overrated, man. Nothing's overrated if you're doing it for yourself and your family.
Okay.
That's a good point.
We have people though who start to think about ROI. They're like, hey, if I go build out this thing, we're only going to stay for a couple of years. I'm like, if you're only going to stay for a couple of years, you're not. If you like any highly customized asset.
Yeah.
If you're building it exactly for yourself, there are going to be certain elements you're like, you're not going to get that sound system, all the money you put into it back out.
Exactly.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
But if you're thinking about that, like no one would ever buy a Ferrari.
Right.
So not that I'm in the Ferrari business, but like we try to talk a lot about sort of what a client is looking for. And it's a fine balance between value and sort of what is the return you're getting in that investment.
Sure.
And that's part of the whole design process. Just as much as sort of like how many people are coming to dinner.
Yeah.
Is there any project you see that a lot of people initially want and kind of down the road regret having? Is there a trend there?
So one of the things that takes up a lot of space and a lot of money are outdoor fireplaces.
Okay.
And we have some people, I've got a client who, the very first time, he had a relatively small backyard, and he was like, I really want an outdoor fireplace. It's like, all right, well, I mean, just to let you know, you're probably not having a fire in August. So I just want you to think about how you're going to use the space, not just in, October.
Yeah.
But are you going to be using it? He's like, no, you don't understand. Like, I'll burn 5, 6, 7 quarts of wood in a year. Just like
That's
like
my thing.
This is my thing.
Yep.
Like, I want it facing my back. Like, I want to see it. I want to light a fire when I come home.
Yeah.
I want it roaring while I'm cooking dinner, and afterwards I'm gonna have a bourbon and I'm gonna go watch that fire. And like literally, actually, his fires were so big, we had to come back and repoint some of the mortar right above the hearth because it was like it was making too. Yeah, I was like, Brian, you gotta scale this down a little bit, buddy. Like it's like this is industrial fires you're making.
Yeah.
So for someone like that, look, that's your passion, then do that.
Absolutely.
We have a lot of people who, they like the idea of an outdoor fire, but if you're only going to use it like 5 times a year, well, then why don't you get like a solo stove?
Yeah.
And it could still be fun. You could pull it out when you're going to have guests, but then it's not dominating the space.
Yes.
And you can have a lot more flexibility because if you're not going to be having a fire in June, July, August, do you really want an architectural element like that isn't going to be used all the time?
Yeah.
Great point.
Yeah. It's a good point. All right. Well, we're going to move into our hot or not segment. You ready for this?
Love it.
All right. So feel free to elaborate on any of this. This will be some of it around the landscaping industry, some of it about business and entrepreneurship.
Sure.
So we kind of hit on the one already.
Yeah.
But how about this one? Hot or not? I'm a fan of this, but backyard putting greens?
Oh, they are hot.
Hot. Okay.
Yeah. Putting green / driving facilities.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there were a number of people who are starting to build. Forgive me, I can't think. You got the projector screen.
Yeah.
The simulators.
Simulator,
Yeah,
yeah.
there we go.
Like golf houses.
Oh yeah. That's becoming.
Do you do that?
So we're not doing.
I was literally putting it on. It's like
we work.
call Ted after.
Christmas gift
It's
for Megan.
honestly, it's not hard to do. You just need to have. I mean, if you got a garage with a probably 9-foot ceiling,
Yeah.
you're ready to go.
Ready to go.
The
Problem is all the crap.
I was about to say, we have that. We
Yes, you
won't
have to
get it.
right.
I've yet to put a vehicle in there. It's mainly all of my kids' stuff.
Right. Yeah.
That's everything.
So we work with a number of custom home builders in the area, and they're seeing that as a trend. It's not something we're driving because it's more of our architectural element, but it's something that when someone's looking at like, hey, I'm making my forever home.
Yeah.
That's starting to become a
Yeah.
thing, either in basements, but we're doing them outdoors. We're doing putting greens that have that are adjacent to the simulator,
Yeah.
and that's definitely a hot thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Kind of following up with that artificial turf in the backyard.
In Maryland specifically, we're doing some, but not a ton.
Okay.
Definitely down south, it's becoming very popular.
Yeah.
Out southwest, very popular. We're having drought restrictions.
Oh, sure.
But it hasn't quite hit to the level that you might think in other areas of the country.
Okay.
We've got a client who coaches lacrosse. She's a lacrosse coach, and she has a backyard astroturf area so that she can practice Fogo.
Yeah.
In January
For those that don't know, that's face off, get off. So if you play lacrosse, you know. How about native plants?
very hot.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Backyard pickleball.
It is definitely hot. It is usually bundled in sort of like an outdoor sports court.
Okay.
Okay.
But pickleball is definitely on the list of things that they want to fit onto that sports court. Yep.
How about smart irrigation systems?
They are almost any irrigation system now has to be smart.
Smart. Okay.
Yeah. It's almost the era of a dumb, just sort of set and forget it irrigation system. Like if someone's selling you something, you're like, you have to be, if it doesn't have a rain gauge and even have like moisture sensors, like the irrigation company's not doing you a justice.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. That should just be part of the norm as opposed to sort of like a real upsell.
Yeah.
So I got a question on this one. Our neighbor has one of these, and our kids once a week go over to watch it do its work. The robot lawnmowers.
Yeah, man. So
I'm seeing them on golf courses.
yeah, I was gonna say golf courses. It's like now the norm.
Yeah.
The challenge with it is because I've looked into these. I've got a number of members of my peer group have started to use this. If you have the right space, it's awesome. Imagine your lawn being mowed all the time.
Yeah.
Like it's never knock mowed.
Yeah.
Like kids love it. Like people who have them love to see this tiny little machine just come.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
like oh,
We drive by, the kids are, oh, Dad, stop.
right.
We just sit there and watch it do its thing.
Clients name them. Like they have these like they'll talk like, yeah, I was on a phone call and I started looking at the the little guy go by, and I totally lost track of what I was saying because it just sort of, there he goes. The people love it. The issue is you need to have, there's a number of different limitations for them right now. Line of sight into the controls is a limitation. So if you have a really intricate backyard where if you have to set up an antenna for these things to be controlled, if the property is one where you're going to have a lot of sort of blind spots, you can't use them. Big open golf courses are like the perfect thing. If you have a big manor out sort of in northern Baltimore County, big open lawn, perfect. If you are living in homeland in a very like tree, like a big tree canopy, it might not work. Or especially if you have like a segmented front yard, backyard, you need two. And there's a certain price point for these things. You're investing quite a bit of money in the upfront of just both the machine and setting up the boundary system for it all. If you have a tiny little lot, it just doesn't make sense. Which is the bummer. Now is the economy of scale of building them, manufacturing it to come down? Well, maybe until we got to tariff wars. So we'll see where that comes. But for like golf courses, it's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Okay. How about homeowners watching YouTube before meeting you? Oh, God.
The bane of my existence.
Yeah, just enough information to be dangerous.
Yes.
I'm sure it's the same as any interior designer or builder. It's great for inspiration.
Right.
It does not give an honest demonstration of what goes into a project, the time, the quality. If you actually like, I'll watch those shows and I'm like, those guys are building a patio right there that literally will probably start settling in 6 months. I'd be out of business if I built something like that way. So it's great. It educates people. It does help them to see visually. Like one of the client's hardest things is trying to visualize what we're talking about. We do 3D modeling. We spend a lot of time on that, but like even still, they're like, I'm not quite sure. When you see something in person, you're like, oh, or on a video, you're like, okay, all right, yeah, no, you see it all come together. But man, it's not a genuine reflection of what actually is involved.
So we also talked about hiring earlier, and we didn't hit on this, but how about hiring, because this is more to the business side, hiring family members?
No, thank you.
Good.
Yeah.
So it's a nod.
I mean, look, my wife is a award-winning landscape architect, and we're happily married because we don't work together. But I think I've never. I know of only one instance.
Present company not included.
I know of only one instance of at least a landscape company that has two brothers working with each other well. That's the exception. The rule is typically it starts to become a serious wedge.
Yeah.
Okay.
An imbalance of responsibilities, an imbalance of compensation. It's typically what you get down to is sort of the vision. Like where the company should be going, where should we be putting our effort into? There's disagreements with that, and it's hard enough to run a small business in general. And I don't know if there's something special about landscaping because it's a highly seasonal, it's high stress. It's really hard to do, and so if you have to then battle with your sibling, that's a whole thing.
It's you've got the business side of it, then you got the creative side too. And again, having that kind of mesh I would think would be really difficult.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like having two chefs trying to run a restaurant. I think that'd be tough.
That's where the magic happens.
Yeah.
If you can do it really well, that's where the magic happens. But that's really hard.
Last one. You touch on this. You've got peer groups, executive coaches. So as a business owner, where do you find your biggest growth opportunities from a leadership standpoint?
The biggest for me as an entrepreneur is hiring a general manager. My general manager, Dan, is an incredibly steady individual. He keeps the trains running on time. He handles a lot of sort of not just the logistics nightmares of everything, but then also just personnel challenges that come up. And it allows me not to be in the day-to-day so that I can actually focus on things that are coming down the pike.
Yep.
Yeah.
If I was still, I used to, as we were growing, I used to design and then sell and then manage all the projects that I handled. We had other designers on staff, but then all that plus AR, AP, hiring,
Yeah.
somebody, came home and we'd run over a shrub. Yeah. Something like that. Like, oh God. You can't think about 3, 6, 12 months down the road when you're still trying to figure out, hey, what am I doing on Monday?
Yeah.
And so it took a long time to grow to the level to be able to afford a GM. But now that we have a general manager and we have sort of mid-level management in place, it allows us to focus on longer term, the medium and long term,
Yeah.
and not be bogged down.
Well, it allows you to be proactive and not a reactive
Yep.
business owner.
Yep.
All right. Well, we got through the hot or not. Now we're going to go plead the fifth. This is our most fun spot. So you get one plead the fifth. You have no idea how many questions I'm going to ask, but we're gonna pelt you with some of this. Get your coffee in. All right. Right from the barrel. What's the dumbest thing you've ever spent money on for the business?
Oh God. Oh, there are too many to list. There has to be an attachment of some sort that I bought. I bought let's see. I bought a grapple attachment for a skid loader that I thought was just the greatest thing since sliced bread. And I use it on the farm. I don't think my production crew has used it once.
So it was a personal purchase.
Yeah, it was sort of like another toy for Ted.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Worst hire you've ever made?
Oh man, that list is long. There was an individual who actually came with pretty decent references. And he ended up, we found out that he was stealing from us.
Okay.
Oh no.
Yeah. And
Like stealing what? Like just,
he was going to Home Depot, making purchases on the company credit card and then returning
In
it.
return for
Yeah.
cash.
Yeah. Back when you could do this.
Yeah.
wow.
And
goodness.
yeah, and just sort of like, and you know that you were saying like hire slow, fire fast.
Yeah.
That was not a fire fast.
Yeah.
And
Oh, so
that was
it's
my big lesson was learning how one individual can ruin a culture.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of sort of damage. I was young, and it was one of those things that I really had to sort of be like, hey guys, I own this. This person should have been fired 3 months ago. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Wow.
That's where it gets tough with, you mentioned how loyal your father was. And there's that fine line between loyal and business owner and really separating the two. And it can be hard.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which is harder, employees or customers?
Employees. The customer's always right anyway. So yeah, you're going to have challenging customers. And as long as the customer is being respectful and being honest, yeah, they're gonna have their challenges. We have some very demanding clients, but that's what we do.
Yeah.
Employees are going to come with their own challenges, but you gotta.
You hired them.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on me, man. So I gotta make sure that very often it's sort of like go back to, hey, are we following our values?
Yeah.
Is this something we said? We actually just had a situation where a client's been very, very, very difficult, and unfortunately, we were thinking, hey, I don't know if this is really running its course.
Yeah.
Like it has run its course, and maybe we need to find a departure. But unfortunately, we said, hey, we're going to take care of your spring cleanup this year,
Oh.
and we should have been upfront from the very beginning, saying, hey, we you know what, we appreciate the opportunity, but I don't think we're the right fit, and we should move away. However, guys, we're now in the season. She's been waiting on us. We're committed. We said we're going to do it. We're going to follow our word. We can have a conversation in the future about whether we should continue to work, but like we said, we're going to do something. So guess what? Load up. We're heading.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned earlier, customer's always right. And, sometimes I don't know if that's always true. I get the meaning behind it.
Yeah.
But, have you ever had like just a completely unrealistic request from a client that, they were dead set on one thing and you knew it either couldn't be done or it was the total wrong thing to do?
So, Yeah, we spend a lot of time on the design side trying to educate the client of why you want to do something the right way or not do the right way. If they insist on us building something, hey, I just want it cheap. Like, okay, well, if you are asking us to cut corners and not build it the right way, I will be clear with you that I'm not going to warranty it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're coming to Pinehurst to know that we're not going to cut corners, that we're actually going to take our time and make sure things are built right.
Right.
And we're going to put the right plant in the right place, and we're going to put the proper foundation under walls and patios. And,
Sure.
we've been around for over 60 years now. The reason why we still have a good name is because we haven't cut corners.
Yeah.
And I will tell people that, look, if you're not happy with something and we didn't follow the way, I don't want to walk into some restaurant and see a client, I have to run away because, oh God, yeah, they hate it. We screwed them over. I never want to be that person. And unfortunately, the landscape industry is an industry that it's really easy to cut corners. It's you can hide a mistake under mulch.
So. Yeah.
And they don't see the concrete underneath the wall we built. So like, how do they know? Did we do it 12 inches deep or do we do it 3 feet deep? Oh well, they won't know until 5 years from now when we have the really hard frost.
Yeah.
And so it's very hard to distinguish yourself and talk about value with a client. So we try from the front end to explain. We've had people sort of say things like, I know this isn't the right way you do it, but come on. And in the past, I've done that, and then they go back and complain. Like, well, this is settling. Why is it settling? Like, well, I told you that. Well, I don't know. You said
Did
it
you really?
Yeah. And so now we're like, no. Like either I'm putting it in writing,
Yeah.
but 9 times out of 10, they're like, if you're going to put your money into this, do it the right way, guys.
Yeah.
I'd rather you save up for another year and do it right
Yeah.
than rush into something because you're going to regret it 2 or 3 years down the road.
Oh, absolutely. Have you ever looked at a completed project and thought, I hate this, even though the client loved it?
Yeah.
Like personal taste.
Oh yeah, because it's all personal taste. It's like a painter. Like if you're painting the walls of your house, they're like, hey, if you really wanted pink, we can paint the walls pink. That's not my go, but hey,
Abysmal.
yeah, there's gonna be so many elements of it that are personalized. I will have to name names. There was a project we did with a landscape architect, a third party landscape architect. We absolutely we thought it was so beautiful. Just the construction, we installed something like 300 tons of boulders to build this wall. It was a mid-century modern house, lots of really complicated elements to it all. It looked amazing. There's really some unique materials we used. So proud of the work. We're like, oh, we got to get a professional photographer in here. And like 2 or 3 months later, came back. The client had completely disassembled all the planting beds, turned them into vegetable gardens. Like the kids had run wild with,
Oh my goodness.
with the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it put a playground in a spot I would not have put the playground.
Yeah.
And it just sort of like, oh man, I can't photograph this because it's actually, but like they love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who's right?
Right.
So it does come down to personal taste. I would have argued that maybe here's the thing, maybe the landscape architect should have talked a little bit more about how do you plan to use this space,
Yeah.
especially with children. You're not building a museum.
No.
So you're going to have to know how are we actually going to really use this space?
What's one landscaping trend that needs to disappear?
I'll say with an asterisk, the native plant movement is not a pure it comes with its own flaws.
Okay.
There are certain native plants that they may be native to Maryland, but you're not necessarily putting them in the right spot.
Okay.
Or there are areas of Maryland that aren't natural anymore.
Yeah.
If you put them along a parking lot, guess what? They didn't evolve to live next to parking lots.
Right.
Native plants get consumed by native animals, aka deer.
Yes.
So a lot of native plants are will be food for that.
Buffet.
Yeah. So people associate, and rightly so, native plants are good habitat and food sources for pollinators.
Yeah.
So there's a value to that. But there's a lot of beauty to them. Some of them are disease resistant more so than non-native plants. However, everything is nuanced. it's sort of like if you paint anything, it's any topic. You talk about art, politics. If you go black and white with anything like native versus non-native, you have to go native. Look, you're bearing the nuance of it all,
Yes.
and nuance is where we live.
Yeah.
And so there's a good theme for every designer, landscape designers: right plant, right place.
Okay.
Just because you love this plant doesn't necessarily mean it's right for you or right in this location.
Right.
So native plants, but with a big asterisk.
Okay. Love it. Well, you got through the plead the fifth.
Yeah.
Oh, that was easy.
Yeah, it was easy. You did good. You did good. One final segment, and this is something we just created for you, so no one else got this, but I want to call it Ted's Backyard Draft. Okay, so here's the deal. You've got 100,000 and a blank backyard.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to give you Morgan's going to give a bunch of picks to choose from. What are your first 5 picks? Okay, so you got 100 grand.
All right, good. Patio, pool, fire pit, lighting, outdoor kitchen, landscaping, putting green, or water feature.
And I'll even pass this over to you so you can keep it in front of you.
Okay. All right. God, I love this. Well, unfortunately, the modern era of pools, you're not. That's going to eat up your entire budget.
Yep.
So I'm going to kick that out of the curb
Okay.
and say I'm going to go to my next door neighbor's pool.
There you go.
Nice.
So, I referenced this before. The beginning and end of any conversation is how are you gathering with friends and family?
Yep.
And so you're going to do that with an outdoor kitchen. You need a patio. Those are the elements as well.
Yep.
I'm going to throw in there pavilion as well.
Okay.
Okay.
And here's why. One, a pavilion is going to protect my outdoor kitchen, having an overhead structure.
Yep.
Yep.
To kind of keep the rain off of my nice, beautiful, like wolf outdoor grill.
Block out them all.
Especially if you want an outdoor kitchen in Baltimore County, you actually have to have a cover over the, by code, you need to have something covering a sink if you want to have an outdoor sink.
Okay.
So that pavilion is going to cover there. I'm also of Irish heritage. So while my wife loves to tan by the pool, this guy does not.
We don't tan anymore.
Yeah, you're right, exactly. Yeah. So definitely the outdoor kitchen, the patio, start off with.
Okay.
I'm going to throw in lighting.
Okay.
Lighting is probably the most underrated, actually. This might have been the thing.
Yeah.
Underrated trend.
I would agree.
For two lighting you use, one for security. It gives a presence of your home when you're away. It also feels very welcoming when you come in. But man, if you're out there and it's not June and the sun's going down at 9 o'clock at night, let's say it's going down in November.
Yeah.
You still want to watch like the football game. Like you want lights on the backyard.
Oh, yeah.
What actually makes you appreciate your backyard to begin with? If you can't see anything, you're not really appreciating it.
I agree.
Even if you're not outside, just being inside and looking out at a lit backyard, it looks
It's
beautiful.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And nowadays with everything is LED. After the initial install, the cost to run an LED system is pennies.
Yeah.
It's not like having those we used to have clients that had like 50 halogen lights, and like, man, I can only imagine what your bill was. It's a fraction of it all. So that is the thing that you can have, and it's automated too. You want to have it turn on and off at certain times, so there's always a presence.
Yep.
Do it, but you could always override and let the party run.
So we got patio, kitchen, lighting.
I'm going to throw one more in there. You got to have some landscaping. You need to have.
Of course.
That's a default. I'm going to set 10 grand off the side for my landscaping. Sound systems.
Sound system.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
Outdoor just the same way that lighting's great. Man, you got to have the tunes. And having like they do have portable Sonos speakers, or I'm sure you guys probably heard of Turtle Box.
Yes.
Maybe a popular one. But man, having a really quality sound system where you have not just one speaker that you have to blast, but if you have a whole series of speakers that are at a lower tone, you can still listen to all the music, you feel the bass, but you can actually still have a conversation at the same time.
I love it.
It is highly underrated and such a great value add.
What about water features?
If you love them, do it. That kind of water features and fireplaces are kind of the same thing. They are
Space.
They take up space, and some people love them, and
I-
other
I'm-
people are like,
Yeah, I love the whether it's a waterfall or the sound, the dripping
Yeah,
kind of running
yeah.
water. That's
Yeah.
Is it, you like that?
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Mary also wants the outdoor fireplace.
They sort of, yeah.
And I'm like, I'd rather have, to your point, I'd rather have the fire pit maybe somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd love with the outdoor kitchen, kind of some water sounds in the background.
Yeah. See, I've got little kids, and so I think of fire pit. I think of s'mores.
Yeah.
And when I'm older, I would love to have a fireplace where I just want to sit outside
Yeah.
and just like I'll put on the radio and listen to some music.
Yeah.
But I'm in the stage of my life right now. I don't want to go build a beautiful fireplace and then it's covered in s'mores.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's,
So
that's why we have a fire pit.
exactly.
It's
Yeah.
literally
Right.
every party that we have, the kids are around the fire pit.
Bingo. Yep.
S'mores. That's it.
That's it.
Well, Ted, I love Ted's backyard draft. I think you hit it out of the park, as you should. This is your job.
what I do.
This is your career. But I want to thank you for being on the show. I think it was awesome to hear from you. Where can everyone find Pinehurst Landscapes?
So pinehurstlandscapes.com is our website. We have an Instagram page and Facebook and LinkedIn as well. So you can follow us on any of those. Just search for Pinehurst Landscapes and we'll pop up.
Awesome.
Yeah, and that's actually especially our Instagram is fun. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that we post. That's not just good gloss and stuff, but you really get excited about sort of the sausage. There you go. Try to share some.
I love it. Well, thank you for being on.
Absolute pleasure.
That's awesome. That's great. See you guys.